Hey loves, this is Andréa Michelle, the #1 purpose educator in the world, and you're listening to the Finding Bliss podcast, episode number 85. Today we're going to discuss You Have Everything You Need to Succeed. Let's get into it.
We've all heard how different sciences and religion are, but are they really that different? In Finding Bliss, we'll explore how the rules of attraction really don't change between the two. Andréa Michelle, certified life coach and program creator, will show you how to find the perfect happiness you crave in the midst of chaos. We'll explore how you can create your own happiness and ignore the negative external factors in your life. We're so excited that you're joining with us in our journey to Finding Bliss.
Hey loves, guess what? I'm bringing Goal Setting Week back, except this time it's not going to be a week, but it's going to be a workshop, and it's going to be held on Saturday, April 4th. The last time I hosted Goal Setting Week, I was joined by over 150 women. We busted 5 of the most common myths around goal setting. This time around, though, we're going to review what those common myths are because I still think they're prevalent in today's society, but we're also going to talk about the role of the conscious and unconscious mind. We're going to talk about the importance of intentions while setting your goals, how your emotions can affect your goals. We are going to break down the 3 types of energy needed to achieve your goals, which is the be, do, have model. We're going to talk about creating well-informed goals, steps to successfully achieve your goals, and so much more. If you are feeling stuck and unsure of what your next steps are, then I would love for you to join me for this goal setting workshop on Saturday, April 4th. Hey loves, welcome back to the Finding Bliss podcast. And if you are new around these parts, welcome. I am so very glad that you are here. I'm glad you decided to hit play. I'm glad you decided to download. I am so grateful for your presence on this podcast. I do this podcast as a labor of love. I do this podcast because I truly love the idea of actually sharing with you valuable content to help you not just simply up-level your life, because I think that's too simple, but to really truly amplify your life, to really truly stand in your own power, to walk in your own power, and to just show up in life as an unapologetic you, connected to source, knowing exactly who you are, what your place is, and knowing that whatever it is that you put your mind to accomplish, whatever it is you align your spirit to accomplish, whatever it is you decide that you want to do, you can and you will absolutely do it. So thank you for giving me this opportunity, because I know personally that there are so many amazing podcasts out there for you to listen to. And so the fact that you choose the Finding Bliss podcast, the fact that you've chosen this podcast to be one of your podcasts of choice, I truly appreciate you, and I am forever grateful for you. So today I want to talk to you about something that, if I'm 100% honest with you, from an intellectual standpoint, I've known it to be true, but it really wasn't until recently where it just really sunk all the way into my mind. It sunk into my spirit. It sunk into my heart, and I could feel it all throughout my body. And that thing is that you have everything that you need to succeed. I want to say that again because I want to make sure you hear me and you understand me. Right now, in this very moment, you have absolutely everything you need in this lifetime to succeed. You don't need anything else to be added to your life. Whatever greatness that is in you now is the same greatness that was in you when you were first born. And whatever greatness is in you now, it's the same greatness that will be in you when you die. The problem, though, is that so many of us never tap into that greatness. There are so many people. I once heard, I believe it was Les Brown, but don't quote me on this. I think it was him who said, some of the world's greatest ideas are in a cemetery. And what that means is that so many people had so many great ideas and so many inventions in them. And because they never tapped into that greatness, they died average people. And their ideas never had the opportunity to manifest, and they never had the opportunity to create the legacy for their lives because they did not tap into their greatness. And now, how do I know that you have everything that you need in order to succeed? Because I know that I have everything that I need to succeed. And I don't believe that I am an anomaly. I don't believe that God, Holy Spirit, Source gave me something and he didn't give that same thing to you. I don't believe that I'm this special creature and I was given all of these powers and abilities because I'm just that special. Now, in my eyes, I think I'm special. I know I'm special. But that's only because I know exactly who I am. But because God gave me a specific gift and a specific talent in order to fulfill the purpose that I have on this earth, I know without a shadow of a doubt that He gave it to you also. I know that beyond a shadow of a doubt that the universe has fully equipped you. And not only that, but the universe continues or conspires to support you in all of your endeavors. And so whatever it is that you need to live a life of success, the universe provides. Whatever it is, whether it is a personality trait, whether it is a characteristic, whether it is a certain type of emotion, whether it be empathy, compassion, or sympathy, like it does not matter what it is. The universe conspires to support you in all of your endeavors. So whatever it is that you need to build a legacy, you have it in you now. And the one thing that becomes your responsibility is tapping into that greatness. It's your responsibility to take time to ask yourself the question, who am I and why am I here? And not just simply ask the question, but to wait and to seek out the answer to the question. Right? To be able to sit in silence and wait for the answer to come to you. And when I say wait for the answer to come to you, I don't mean simply idly waiting. I'm not talking about, you ask the question and then you sit in your chair and you go watch TV or you do whatever while you wait for the answer to come to you. No. I'm talking about waiting. I'm talking about actively waiting to receive the answer to why am I here and what is my purpose. I'm talking about you looking within yourself and looking at the things that you like to do and pursuing those things. Because it is in the pursuit of the things that make you happy that you truly discover what your purpose is. How many times have you met someone and they said, I've always wanted to work with kids my entire life. When I was a kid, I said I want to work with kids. And then they went to school and they studied early childhood education. And then they got a job and they started working with children. And then after about a year of working with children, they said, oh, no. Nope. This ain't for me. right? But if they had not pursued that avenue, if they had not pursued their dream, or what they thought was their dream of early childhood education, they would not be able to unapologetically say, nope, this ain't for me, and pursue something else. See, some of y'all think that just because you pursue something and it doesn't work out for you, then that means that you've wasted time. But that's not what that means. It does not mean that you've wasted time. It just means that you are now one step closer to discovering what your purpose is. It doesn't mean that you've wasted time. It means that you've spent time deciding or figuring out what it is that you don't want. And once you know what you don't want, then you can begin to focus on the things that you want. So I don't want you to look at, your life and say, well, I don't want to make a move, or I don't want to do this, or I don't want to do that because I don't want to fail and I don't want to waste time. Instead, I am asking you to go after the thing that you have on your heart. And in the pursuit of going after the thing that you have on your heart, you will discover your purpose. And it may not necessarily be that thing that you are pursuing that is your purpose, but you will discover at least what is not your purpose. I heard someone say that a reporter asked Thomas Edison, they said, how does it feel knowing that you failed 1,000 times in trying to create the light bulb? And Thomas Edison so wisely replied, and he said, I didn't fail 1,000 times. I found 1,000 ways that it didn't work. Because those 1,000 ways that showed him what didn't work ultimately got him to the solution that did work. And it's the same thing with your life, beloved. You can't sit around waiting for the answer, the solution to just falleth on you. I mean, you can do that because you're free to choose whatever it is that you want. So you can sit back and wait for the solution to come to you. I promise you, you can wait. You can wait as long as you want. You can do all of that. It is your choice. You have free will to do that. But the likelihood of the solution actually falling on you is very slim, just so you know. And so that's why I'm encouraging you to pursue the thing that sets your soul on fire. So what? It may not work out. So what? You may discover that, wait a minute, this is not what I thought it was going to be. So what? That you may realize that the very thing you thought you loved, you actually do hate it. So what? But once you realize, or once you learn that, wait a minute, I don't like working with children, then you can move on to your next step. Then you can start down a different path. And you can say, I know that I don't want to work with children because I tried that, I did that, and that was not it. So now let me go work with perhaps middle schoolers. And then you pursue that and you work with middle schoolers and you realize this ain't where it is either. And the most interesting thing about life and the most interesting thing about pursuing your purpose and being actively engaged in your own greatness is that sometimes the very thing that you thought would be a hard no becomes the thing that you fall in love with the most. Because you thought it was early childhood education and you worked in that and it didn't work. And then you went to middle school and it didn't work. And something told you to go to high school and you said to yourself, no, I am not going to high school because I can't deal with their attitudes. And then you began working with high schoolers and you began to change and impact their entire world and you began to pour into them. But as much as you are pouring into them, they begin to pour into you and you have found your love. And you have found your purpose. And you are pursuing your passion. The very thing that you said no to at first becomes the thing that you fall in love with the most. But if you had not pursued something, you would never know it. So again, there are so many people who die without uncovering their greatness. Because in you right now, as I said before, in you right now is everything that you need to succeed. In you right now is your multi-million-dollar, billion-dollar idea. In you right now is the answer and the tools that you need to pursue a life of greatness which leaves a lasting legacy. But you need to know that. And not only that, but you need to act upon it. You need to know that, and you need to act upon it. And not wait for someone to give you the green light. Not wait for someone to give you permission to follow your dreams, to pursue your greatness. You can't wait. You can't expect for someone to give you permission to pursue your greatness, because guess what? They may not even know that there is greatness within them. And although they don't mean you any harm, because they don't see or recognize the greatness within themselves, it is impossible for them to see and recognize the greatness within you. And so while you're waiting for someone to give you permission to be great, it will never come. It will never come. It will never come because perhaps they don't even see the greatness within themselves. And not only that, but this is your vision. This is your greatness. You are responsible for your own greatness. You are the one. You are going to be held accountable for that. You know, for those of you who believe that when the afterlife and when we die, we're going to, go to heaven and be in front of God and God's going to hold us accountable. God is not going to say to me, Andréa, why didn't you pursue your greatness? And I can't tell God because my husband didn't tell me I was great. I mean, I suppose I can tell him that, but is that me being accountable? No. God's not going to go to my husband and say, Tony, why didn't you tell Andréa that she was great? God's going to go to Tony and hold Tony accountable for Tony's life. And God's going to hold Andréa accountable for Andréa's life. And so God is going to hold you accountable for your life. And so I want you to know today, as of right now, beloved, you have absolutely everything that you need in order to succeed. You really don't need anyone or anything else, because everything is in you. And again, you have to tap into it. And that's what I love about, although I'm a coach myself, I actually do have a coach. And since before I really truly launched my business, I actually invested in a coach, because see, my coach can see things in me and bring things out of me that I can't necessarily see and bring out myself. Because we all have blind spots. Y'all, we all have blind spots. And one of my blind spots, being 100% honest with you, one of my blind spots is the ability to truly see the impact that I have on other people's lives. My blind spot is being able to see the impact and celebrate the impact, because I am always looking for, I shouldn't say always, but I'm looking for, okay, what's next? Okay, how can I have a greater impact? Like that is where my focus is. And so sometimes I get so caught up in really truly having an impact that I can't see the small impact, the small gems that I'm dropping along the way. And so I get with my coach and we have these conversations, and she says to me, oh, Andréa, did you know this is 3 times more people than this happened before? Did you realize that you've gotten, this many more downloads than, 3 weeks ago? Did you realize this? And I have to take a step back and I have to say, oh my gosh, I didn't even celebrate those victories. Right? Because I have a blind spot, and so do you. And so that's the importance really of actually working with a coach. And that's why I will always have a coach, because I understand that I do have everything that I need in me to succeed, but I also have blind spots. And so I'm saying to you that you have everything that you need in you to succeed. And the reason why you can't see these things sometimes is because they're hiding in your blind spot. And there's nothing wrong with that, but that's why it is so important for you that as you travel and as you go along on your journey of self-discovery, that you recognize the fact that you are this powerful being, but you also have blind spots. And so you need to connect yourself, get connected with people who can show you what your blind spots are so that you can continue to develop the greatness that is within you. And so I know for some of you, this is new and something that you're not necessarily used to. So here's an affirmation to help you bridge that gap from thinking that you are inadequate to knowing that you have everything in you to succeed. I am an extremely powerful being. I can be, do, and have whatever it is that I want. I am everything I need to be right now. Thank you so much for listening. I hope you've enjoyed this episode of the podcast and the podcast in general. It would be such a great honor if you would subscribe and review it for me. And if you've enjoyed it that much, I hope you'd share it with your friends. I'm looking forward to us journeying together to find our bliss. Would you like to build your confidence and, more importantly, empower yourself? If so, then I'd like to invite you to download my 23 affirmations to build confidence and empower yourself. These were beautifully created so that you can print them out, hang them in your office, home office, bathroom, or wherever you need to see them on a daily basis to build your confidence and empower yourself. Please download them today. Are you a leader who's ready to discover your purpose and your passion, find balance, reconnect with, and find your identity so that you can create more happiness, fall in love with yourself, make more money, and live an abundant life? If that is you, then I would love for you to join my brand new Facebook group called the Confident Women's Collective. In this group, the one thing that we realize is that we are a force of one, but a movement collectively. So if you are ready to discover who you really are, stand in your power, walk in your purpose so you can experience more love and happiness, then I would love for you to join the Confident Women's Collective.